This is MATD1544 and in this short recording we're just going to look at the inverse tangent function. Now we have discussed the arc sine and the arc cos already. So this looks now at the arctan function, meaning giving us back the angle if we have the tan of the function. Now once again, the normal tan graph is a function, but its inverse will not be a function. So they had to restrict the graph again. So they restrict the tan graph. This is the normal tan graph. So they restricted it in this way. The domain only between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2. In other words, between minus 90 and degrees and 90 degrees, where we have the two asymptotes. And then of course, yeah, as I said, we have the two asymptotes. And then what we can now see is that that this forms now a part of the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So all our positive answers must then always be given in the first quadrant. So we will write positive the reference angle. So if an angle is, if it's going to be a positive, if the arctan is positive, we will give the angle in the first quadrant as positive the reference angle. If arctan is negative, we will give the angle in the fourth quadrant but as negative the reference angle. In other words, clockwise. Now once again, for your tests and for exam purposes, you will be asked to draw the arctan function and give the domain and the range. So please make sure about that the domain is all the real numbers, because this graph is carrying on to the left and to the right forever. And the range here is between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2, because we've got an asymptote there and an asymptote there, two horizontal asymptotes. And just see the shape of the graph, that you draw it correctly. But please make sure you can draw the arctan function, sketch the graph of it. Okay, there I've just indicated again that it's the inverse, or the reflection rather, in the y is equal to x axis. It is the inverse, yes. So if we can look at the activities here. So if you just get, that's now on 336. So if you get asked, find the arctan of 1 over square root 3, well, that is positive. So we will ask ourselves which angle, the tan of which angle would be 1 over square root 3. So 1 over square root 3 is opposite over adjacent, so it should be 30 degrees or pi over 6. So therefore, because it's positive, we must give now our answer in the first quadrant as positive the reference angle. So therefore, the answer will just be pi over 6. Okay, if we look at arctan tan 7 pi over 6. Now, 7 pi over 6 will be in the third quadrant. Well, their tan is positive. So the reference angle here is pi over 6. So therefore, we must give positive the reference angle, giving us then the answer of pi over 6. Say now we had arctan tan of 2 pi over 3. So where is 2 pi over 3? 2 pi over 3 is in the second quadrant, while their tan is negative. So what must I give? Negative the reference angle. What is the reference angle? It's pi over 3. So my answer should be minus pi over 3. All right. So that's why we gave the answer as minus pi over 3. Let's say we have arctan tan 5 pi over 3. All right. So first, where is 5 pi over 3? 5 pi over 3 is in the fourth quadrant. Well, their tan is negative. So what must I give? Negative the reference angle again. What is the reference angle? Pi over 3. So my answer should be negative pi over 3 again. Let's look at arctan tan 7 pi over 6. Right, where is 7 pi over 6? 7 pi over 6 is in the third quadrant. Their tan is positive. So what must I give? Positive the reference angle. What is the reference angle? Pi over 6. So the answer should be positive pi over 6. Okay. Here we have what we now used to, two different functions, cos and arctan. When we have that, we said we always put the brackets equal to y. So we say let y be the brackets. The brackets was arctan 4. This is a positive. So therefore, our diagram should be in the first quadrant. And that's why we did it here in the first quadrant. So tan is 4. So yeah, if y is arctan 4, then tan y will be 4, meaning 4 over 1. So if we put it now in the first quadrant, the diagram, we will have the 4 and the 1 as y over x, or opposite over adjacent. We short the radius. We're going to work it out by Pythagoras. It's square root 16. What do they ask us? They ask us the cos. So the cos of y will be 1 over square root 7. We just read off the cos now from the diagram. Okay, I think if you understand what we did in this short recording, you should be fine with what you can expect in the formal tests and exams for this course on arctan.